All right, my friends, welcome to the Dr. Sem Yankees Show. Bring that music down, and we are now ready to rock and roll. Hey, let's make today a great day. And how do you make your day great? Well, it's simple. You look around at the world around you, and you notice the good, and you appreciate the good. And you treasure the good in your heart. If you are grateful, if you appreciate things, it's almost impossible not to have a great day because you see so many great, wonderful, and beautiful things in the world. But people sometimes say to me, they say, hey, Dr. Sem, there's nothing good. I can't find anything good right now. There's no good in the world. Zero, zilch, it's all gone. There's nothing positive anywhere. I don't see a pretty flower. I don't have any food. There's no shelter in my life. How are you watching a YouTube program if you have none of those things? But anyway, I can't find any good anywhere. So if that's the case, you have within yourself the ability to create good. Yes, you do. Do something nice for somebody else. Now you've created good. Now you can take that good that you created yourself and cherish it in your heart and say it is a good day because I did something good. But even if you see all the good around you, don't just keep it for yourself. Share it. Be generous with all the goodness. Make other people's lives happy every day. Remember, when we give love, it comes back to us in greater amounts than we ever gave. Now, just a reminder, my dear friends, this show is part of the wonderful Yankees site. Start spreading the news. Come visit us each and every day. Start spreading the news. Puts out original, brand new content every day at 6 a.m., 10 a.m., and 2 p.m. We have game threads, but there are not game threads right now as I'm recording this because we've been having trouble with our comments on the site. So I turned the comments off. It makes no sense if people are getting upset because they're writing comments and then the comments aren't showing. So rather than having that frustration, the comments are off until we get this worked out with our host, Wix. Our technician is working on it. They're working through things. I hope that everything is fixed soon, hopefully maybe on Monday, because now we are in a weekend. A reminder also that this program is brought to you by Artemisia Publishing. Artemisia is a traditional, independent publisher located in New Mexico, New Jersey, and they publish a wide selection of award-winning books across a plethora of genres. Among the great books that they publish are some award winners written by me. So a couple of those you might notice, the least among them, the story of the 29 players whose entire baseball career consisted of just one game with the New York Yankees. Of course, there's the wonderful, David Cohn has talked about this multiple times on Yankee Games. There is the wonderful Roy White biography, From Compton to the Bronx. There is the motivational 365.2, Going the Distance, A Runner's Journey. If you're in a situation and you need motivation to do something that you didn't think you could do, read that book. That will motivate you. That's about it's a true story. It's almost a diary. It's a day-by-day, blow-by-blow of my attempt to run every single day for an entire calendar year. And then, of course, is the greatest novel ever written, Scattering the Ashes. If you have not read Scattering the Ashes, your life is in many ways incomplete. That is the world's greatest novel. It will make you laugh. It will make you cry. You will turn every page anticipating with eagerness and satisfaction the desire to find out what happens on the next page. It is a miraculous work of fiction, if I do say so myself. And then just awarded 5 stars by Reader's Favorite, The Greatest New York Yankees by Uniform Number. That's my most recent Yankees book published by Artemisia Publishing. Check that out. Check out all of my books and all of the great books that they print. They're always coming out with new books, new great stuff. Of course, this is the Dr. Sem Yankees Show, and we are here to talk about the New York Yankees. Now, when I put this on, it's the top of the 9th. I'm recording this Friday night. 2 outs in the top of the 9th. The Yankees are winning 1-0. So, my goodness, the Yankees are not scoring a lot of runs, but they're winning ball games. So I think the game might have just ended. I'll check back on that in a minute. I'd like to talk more about some statistics as we start the show today. I'm going to share an amazing statistic with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a sad situation to report. The death, my dear friends, of the 300 hitter. Now, not completely, but in a very large sense, the 300 hitter has disappeared from baseball. The lifetime 300 hitter has disappeared from baseball. So if you were to log into Baseball Reference and you were to say, hey, Baseball Reference, who are the active leaders in batting average? Who are the best players in baseball across their careers in batting average? Right now, there's only 3 active major leaguers who have a minimum of 3,000 plate appearances or 500 games. I guess it's 3,000 plate appearances for batting average, who have a lifetime batting average of 300 or better. 2 of those are barely above 300. Barely. Just over 300. And one of them is comfortably above 300. So let's go from the third guy, Jose Altuve. His lifetime batting average is 300 on the nose. 300. He doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle room here, Mr. Altuve. His lifetime batting average is 300. It's not 301. It's 300. 300. The next guy, number 2 active in batting average, is Yordan Alvarez. And Yordan Alvarez's batting average is 300. That is correct. So Jose Altuve doesn't hit 300 this year. This is what happened to Mickey Mantle at the end of his career. He had a couple of years at the end of his career, and he didn't hit 300, and his lifetime batting average dropped to, I believe, 298. Mickey Mantle, throughout the rest of his life, regretted the fact that his batting average was low enough for his last couple of years that he did not retire as a 300 hitter. But you've got Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve, who both have lifetime batting averages at 300, on the nose as we speak. Now, this year, Alvarez is hitting 328. He leads the American League, I believe, in hitting, in batting average. He also leads all of baseball in home runs and RBIs. So he's a possible triple crown. So he is comfortably keeping that 300 batting average. Jose Altuve this year is batting only 232. His last 3 seasons, 2024, he had 295. 2025, he had 265. This year, Altuve is hitting 232. If that continues for the rest of the year and the way it's looking, it's likely, because his batting average is going down year by year. By season's end, Jose Altuve might not be a lifetime 300 hitter. If that's the case, then there are only 2 active major leaguers who have a 300 or better lifetime batting average. 2. If Altuve falls down. If Altuve keeps at where he is, then there are 3. So who is that third batter who has a lifetime batting average over 300? Well, listen, my dear friends, he doesn't have a lifetime batting average just over 300. He has a lifetime batting average over 305. Oh, wait a minute. He doesn't just have a lifetime batting average over 305. He has a lifetime batting average over 310. Whoa, wait a minute. He doesn't just have a lifetime batting average over 310. He has a lifetime batting average over 315. His lifetime batting average, as I record this show, is 317. Now, just let that sink in for a minute. This player's lifetime batting average is 317. The only other 2 major leaguers currently playing, active major leaguers with enough at-bats, plate appearances, 3,000, to qualify, barely are making it. Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve, who are at 300 on the nose. Now, Freddie Freeman's at 299. He's in 4th place. Trey Turner's at 293. He's far away. And then you have 292, Yandy Diaz, Aaron Judge, 291, Mike Trout, 291, Bo Bichette, 289. All right, so the only guy who's close, really, lifetime batting average-wise, is Freddie Freeman at 299 to 300. And then there's this guy who's 17 points above 300. He has a lifetime batting average of 317. This year, he's hitting 320. Last year, he hit 292. The year before, he hit 318. The year before, he hit 314, led the National League in hitting. The year before, he hit 354, led the major leagues in hitting. The year before, he hit 316. The year before, he hit 294. The year before, he hit 321. The year before, he hit 334. Holy cow. Who is the lifetime leader, active leader in batting average? Luis Arraez. Luis Arraez. Now, I have been saying for years, because he's been available, that the Yankees should get Luis Arraez. The Yankees don't have a leadoff hitter. The Yankees also have a strikeout problem. They strike out all the time. Let me just pull up a fun statistic here. Let's look up Aaron Judge, because I'm going to blow your mind with the next statistic. We'll look up Aaron Judge. Maybe we'll look up Giancarlo Stanton. get those guys up so I can look them up as we do this. The Yankees have, as I say, they have a strikeout problem. They strike out all the time. We know that. If you watch the Yankees, you know they're striking out all the time. I'm going to give you a number. Are you ready for this number? 233. 233. Now I'm going to give you another number. 208. Now I'm going to give you another number. Just bear with me. 211. And then I'm going to give you one more fun number. 152. Now, what do you think those numbers signify? 233, 152, 208, and 211. I'll give you some hints here. Jazz Chisholm in 2024 across two teams struck out 152 times in one season. That was the most ever for him. Of course, across his career, Jazz Chisholm has struck out 761 times. Aaron Judge in 2017 struck out 208 times. In 2022, he struck out 175 times. In 2024, he struck out 171 times. Last year, he struck out 160 times. Giancarlo Stanton in 2018 struck out 211 times. When he was with Miami, he struck out 170 times in 2014. These guys strike out a lot. And then there's that first number I told you, 233. That's how many times Luis Arraez has struck out in his entire career. All right, so that's like 2 years of Jazz Chisholm. It's like a year and a month of Aaron Judge, looking at their worst or most strikeout seasons, which is their worst strikeout season, because it would be their most. And it's like a year and a month of Giancarlo Stanton's worst season. Maybe for their typical season, it's like a year and 2 months for Aaron Judge, a year and 2 months for Giancarlo Stanton, and, as we say, 2 seasons for Jazz Chisholm Jr. And then here's a guy who's in his 8th season who struck out only 233 times. So the Yankees have a problem getting guys on base. They have a problem with batting average. They have a problem. They don't have a leadoff hitter. They have a problem with striking out a lot. And here's this player, Luis Arraez, who everybody says the Yankees don't need. Well, actually, you know, it's funny. I've been saying the Yankees should get Luis Arraez for years, and I've been told how wrong I am. What, are you crazy? Luis Arraez, oh, my God. Never mind, the guy's lifetime batting average is .317, and there's only 2 other guys who even have a lifetime batting average just barely of .300. Now, a lot of people are saying the Yankees should get Arraez. The Yankees should get Arraez. The Yankees need Arraez. They get Arraez out of me when they say that. Haha. Anyway, the Yankees should get Luis Arraez because he fills a lot of needs. He gets on base. He's the best batting average guy in the game by far, and he doesn't strike out. The Yankees strike out far too much. And Luis Arraez just doesn't strike out. You want to talk about Luis Arraez's worst season ever? 2021. He struck out 48 times. His typical 162 game average is 40. 40. Jazz Chisholm's typical 162 game average of strikeouts is 182. 40 compared to 182. But I know people say, they go, Dr. Sem, come on. You're talking about Jazz Chisholm at second base or Luis Arraez. Arraez has a high batting average, but he doesn't do anything else. He can't field, though a lot of the fielding metrics this year say he's having a very good year defensively. But he can't field. Sometimes they have him at second base. They've tried him here. They've tried him there. He's really just a DH who has no power. He's not a valuable ball player. We don't need Luis Arraez. This is what everyone was saying until this year when I suggested the Yankees should get Luis Arraez. Oh, no. Yankees shouldn't get him. He's not worth it. So what's a statistic that balances all of that out, or at least is supposed to, and is recognized across baseball as a statistic that has merit because it measures fielding, running, defense, power, ability to get singles, walks, and all of that? Yeah, WAR, wins above replacement. Now, if I asked you right now, which player over an average of 162 games has the higher WAR, every single one of you, every single person out there watching would say Jazz Chisholm. Jazz hits for power. Jazz steals bases. Jazz is superior defensively. Jazz can do it all. Luis Arraez, all he can do is hit singles. He's a singles hitter. He's a weak singles hitter. No one needs a weak singles hitter. Why would you want Luis Arraez? He isn't in the same league as Jazz Chisholm. That's what you would say. That's what you're saying right now as you're watching this. There's no way that Luis Arraez is even in the same league as Jazz Chisholm. So here we go. Luis Arraez, 162 game average, WAR 3.4. Over the course of of a Luis Arraez's career, over 162 games, he averages 3.4 WAR. Jazz Chisholm, over the course of his career, averages 3.3 WAR. Now, I know what people are saying. Arraez 3.4, Chisholm 3.3. It's basically the same. There's no difference. 3.4, 3.3. That's the same. Okay. I'll give you that. But a minute ago, everybody was saying Jazz Chisholm is superior to Luis Arraez. Now I give you the numbers from Baseball Reference, and now the immediate response is, oh, yeah, he's better by a decimal point. Big deal. Right. It is a big deal because nobody realized Luis Arraez was that good. Nobody realized that Luis Arraez is slightly better by WAR on Baseball Reference per 162 games than Jazz Chisholm. Yeah, but Jazz can do so much. I guess not as much as Luis Arraez. So you take Luis Arraez, you put him at second base, and you're actually a little better than you were when you had Jazz Chisholm there. That's impossible. No, it's not. It's entirely possible because Luis Arraez is an outlier. He's a player, as I've noted here, unlike any in the major leagues today. A 317 lifetime batting average. Batting average doesn't matter. I understand people say stuff like that. Here's my opinion. Batting average does matter. Sometimes, and I'm a big fan of advanced statistics, but sometimes you look to the most obvious statistics. Batting average. How many hits do you get? Luis Arraez gets a ton of hits. Period. Luis Arraez gets a ton of hits. Now you might say, yeah. But a guy like that, he's going to ground into a million double plays. This guy's going to hit the ball and he's going to ground into a million double plays. So for every hit, he's going to hurt the team. Of course, that doesn't make any sense because I believe WAR figures all that in. How many double plays has Luis Arraez grounded into or hit into this year? 2. How many has Jazz Chisholm hit into this year? 4. Over the last 2 years, Jazz Chisholm has grounded into 7 double plays. Over the last 2 years, Luis Arraez has grounded into 8 double plays. He puts the bat on the ball, but he does not hit into double plays. Here's a chance for the Yankees to address a leadoff hitter Here's a chance for the Yankees to get a player in their lineup who doesn't strike out. Here's a chance for the Yankees to actually improve second base over the course of his career. Luis Arraez is slightly better than Jazz Chisholm. I just demonstrated that with the numbers. Now, people might say, it's ridiculous. I can't believe it. It's not true. It can't be true. But it is true. It is what it is. In the beginning, people said that Luis Arraez wasn't nearly as good as Jazz Chisholm. And now I'm showing you that it's basically a wash, if nothing else. But Chisholm, while he does hit for power, strikes out a lot and isn't a leadoff hitter. Luis Arraez can solve both those problems for the Yankees. The Yankees should get Luis Arraez. By the way, Jazz Chisholm is not a third baseman. I beat that to death over other shows. I beat that to death in articles on Start Spreading the News. Go visit us at startspreadingthenews.blog. We have new articles up every day at 6 a.m., 10 a.m., and 2 p.m. We've been doing that since 2017. No one else puts out as much original, wonderful Yankee content as us. So much so that, as you see at the end of many of my articles, I say thank you to people who came to visit the site. But I say, if you're going to borrow or take our ideas, give credit to the author and the site. People take our ideas and our writings, and then they push them off as their own, which is wrong. It's completely wrong. But I put that on there because I know it happens, and I know people have done it and are doing it. And imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Of course it is. But the fact that they're copying our ideas, the fact that they use our content, means they get their content from us, which means we do a pretty darn good job, which means we're doing great work that the other people have to come to Start Spreading the News to get ideas for their own articles. Think about that. That's why you should also go to Start Spreading the News, startspreadingthenews.blog. All right, again, this is the Dr. Sem Show. I'll put that graphic back up there. I've said for a long time that Jazz Chisholm is not a third baseman. He's not. Now, some people will watch him play third. The Yankees tried it 2 different times in 2 different seasons and backed away from it twice. Why? Because he's not a third baseman. But sometimes fans look at things without understanding what baseball is all about or understanding the nuances of the game, and they say, yes, he can play third. I saw him. He made the play. Yeah. You see, when we watch on TV, we see when they make the play, or we see when they don't make the play, and they're major leaguers, so even if the worst third baseman most often makes the plays, what you don't see are the things he's not doing right. There's no way that Jazz Chisholm can play third base at the level of a major league third baseman, an average major league third baseman, because the average major league third baseman went through the minor leagues, went through college primarily, probably went through high school playing third base. That person has repetitions at third base by the tens of thousands. That's something you can't necessarily teach. You can teach how to play a position, but you can't teach repetition. The only way to get repetition is to have it. And if you've never played third base except for the 2 failed experiments with the Yankees at the major league level, that's just not major league preparation. That's not major league reps. And if you don't have major league reps, you're not willing, or you might be willing, but you're not able to play third base at a major league level equal to what the Yankees would need from him to be a World Series competitor. Sure, he can do it, but he can't do it well. And the Yankees should be looking to do things well. If they get Luis Arraez, Jazz Chisholm is a valuable baseball player. They should seek to trade Jazz Chisholm. Both of them are on expiring contracts. I doubt either of them would be a Yankee next year. But if I were the Yankees, Jazz is saying, he wants $500 gazillion a year. He's not worth that. Luis Arraez keeps signing for little money. If I were the Yankees, I would trade for Arraez and sign him for little money. I'm sure he'd sign a 3-year deal. And now you have your second base situation wrapped up with a guy who is the single best baseball player as far as batting average in the game today by far. It's a vast improvement, and even a slight improvement by Baseball Reference WAR, which is something that nobody in this entire world thought could be possibly true until I just told you on this show. Get Luis Arraez. They should have gotten him years ago. They can fix that by getting him now. I was going to talk about the fact that the Yankees aren't scoring a lot of runs. They did win today against the Phillies, 1-0. The New York Yankees won 1-0. Holy cow. The Yankees aren't scoring a whole lot of runs. They beat Pittsburgh 2-0 the game before. They scored 3 the game before. They scored 8 the game before that, but that was a couple of big innings at the very beginning of the game. 2 the game before that, 2 the game before that, 1 the game before that, then 5-4-5. Those were the games where they scored all those runs, though, against the Pittsburgh or Washington National bullpen. That they don't have a bullpen. Then before that, they did score 12 against Tampa Bay, but before that, it was 0-4-5-1. They're just not scoring a lot of runs, but they're winning games. They're winning games because they're getting great starting pitching. Now, the Yankees, I have said for years, just want to be a little bit better than pretty good. That is the case. I believe that to be true. That's why they're always just a little bit better than pretty good. But the Yankees do have an outstanding, if they're all healthy, starting rotation. And if the Yankees can go into the playoffs with a rotation of Cam Schlittler, Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and Carlos Rodon, with a guy like Clark Schmidt and a guy like Will Warren in the wings, that is one tremendous starting rotation. That's a starting rotation that can win you a World Series. So the Yankees will make the playoffs. They always do. They're always just a little bit better than pretty good. Except this year, that strategy, one, I dislike greatly because I want the Yankees to be great. But if they do get to the playoffs, and they will, and their starting pitchers are healthy, they have the players in place to possibly to win the World Series. They have the players in place to win it. And it's a possibility. It could be a very real possibility this year. I don't like how they're going to get there. I think they need a better manager. I hope they do some exciting things at the trade deadline. I hope they improve their offense by getting Luis Arraez. But the Yankees are setting themselves up to be very good when we get to the playoffs. All right, that's the Dr. Sem Yankees Show. I can't thank you enough for watching. It is always, always, always a pleasure. Remember to make each and every day a great day. Remember to be kind. Remember to appreciate other people. Remember to be grateful. Show gratitude. Remember to tell people who you care about that you care about. Remember to tell people who you love that you love them. Make every day a great day when we give love and kindness and empathy and all of those things. All of those attributes come back to us, and they come back to us in greater amounts than we ever gave. Have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Go to Start Spreading the News for all of our great content. I'll see you here next time.